Thanks for joining us. And the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram is Sam George. Sam George, thanks for joining me, my good friend.
Oh, now you are qualifying it. You introduce Honorable Abaji as your good friend.
But you're also my good friend, aren't you?
Oh no, this is post-facto rationalization, so it is rejected. A very good morning to our viewers. It's the Honorable Abaji.
Okay, so I have in the
Who
studio
is my
also,
good friend?
Right, another good friend of mine, Daniel Ochema Abaji. He's a Member of Parliament for Bantama. Thanks for joining me, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. Great. And
Morning, my brother.
we're just getting on the front pages. We just quickly have to deal with this some few minutes, and then we'll go on to the main substantive issues. The Ministry of Transport now, we're told, has been advised by Parliament Roads and Transport Committee on the subject of the National Road Safety Programme, in which the towing fee is supposed to be paid, etc., for all that. So just your brief comments on this. I'll start with you, Mr. Abaji.
Well, good morning to your cherished viewers and good morning to my people in Bantama constituency. I think this towing fee issue, as you know, was passed by the 6th Parliament, you know, when our friends were in power at that time, and the contract has been signed, you know, so the implementation, I think, experienced some challenges and kickback, I mean, what they call pushback from the general public, and we intervened as a people's rep to take a look and listen to everybody that was concerned. So we invited people. This is a committee issue, it's not just Parliament, the Committee on Roads and Transport, and we invited the ministry to
That's the current committee?
Yes, the current committee, yes. Okay. So we invited the people concerned, the stakeholders, you know, the Commission on Safety. We invited the people, the general public, the GPRTU, and the rest, and to hear them what their concerns were and stuff like that. And we are all in agreement, so to say. I mean, with respect to the fact that that concept is good. You know, maybe we differed a little bit in implementation and how we should approach the whole issue, but ultimately, what we felt we needed to recommend to the minister was the fact that lives needs to be saved. We cannot sit there for people to continue to die. Lives, I mean, this what they call disabled cars are taking lives and stuff like that. So I think that's what we did. For us, from the committee point of view, it's just a recommendation, and we made a number of suggestions to the minister. So ultimately, the minister has to make the call and then make sure that this is implemented. So whatever you are hearing and seeing is a recommendation from
the parliamentary committee.
Yes.
So we're told that it's supposed to make sure we save lives, so all the same. And ultimately, you could see that at the end of the day, the lives being saved are critical, but the way it's also undertaken is one of the things that we need to take a look at something.
Yes, and Roland, a very good morning to my people in Pram Pram and then all of you across the country. I'm sure you yourself are well aware of my position on this matter previously. I take a strong exception to the manner of implementation. Like Honorable Abaji said, I personally don't have a problem with the principle of a toll tax. But what I have a problem with is the principle of a mandatory toll tax, making it mandatory, and then the monopoly that is being created. That is where I have a problem with. I mean, the concept, when I was passed, and for me, I don't want to look at this through partisan lenses. When I was passed through by the NDC or the NPP, for me, it's inconsequential. I mean, if you wanted to be partisan, I'll be here defending it because it was my government that promulgated the law and even signed the contract. But I'm asking questions that are critical. I have an insurance policy. My insurance policy covers towing. Why should the government be asking me to pay another toll tax? Why should I be paying to one company? Why should that company be responsible for determining who disabled vehicles? That is the role. If you take the laws that were passed by Parliament, the National Road Safety Act, it is the job of the Ghana Police Service to ensure that disabled vehicles are taken off the road. So if the Ghana Police Service doesn't have the logistics to tow the vehicles, the duty of identifying broken down vehicles cannot be moved without a change of the law from the police service to a private company, where you say that people should now call a private company. The Ghana Police Service has more visibility than any private company on all our major roads. They have visibility units. So rather what you should have is a situation where when a car is broken down, the Ghana Police Service, which we should empower as a state, should be empowered to make the phone call to a tow company out of a number of tow companies and say, come move this vehicle. Not the driver himself having to call a private company to do it. Secondly, and I'm not just going to sit here and criticize, I'm offering alternatives. why don't we say that, okay, fine, there are a number of insurance companies. You cannot drive a vehicle in this country if your car is not insured, if you don't have an insurance policy, be it a third party or a comprehensive insurance policy. If we really want to have a toll tax, since already some insurance policies give a towing service as part of the premium that you pay, why don't we say that we are making it compulsory that all insurance companies should be responsible for collection of toll tax or the toll levy? So that once I already have a policy, I have a comprehensive insurance on my car, that includes a toll policy. It means that I'm not going to be charged a second time for that same policy. If you are with a company that doesn't currently offer that service, the company is mandated to offer that service by law, by an airline. And then what then happens is, if I am with, say, insurance company A, and you are with insurance company B, Roland is one towing company. The cameraman here on camera 3 is another tow company. Company A, insurance company A can choose to do business that whenever their customers call and say, my car is broken down, they will call tow company A, or tow company 3, or tow company 2. But to create a monopoly in a free market system can never, ever, there is no economic policy or principle that shows me how a monopoly can inure to the benefits of the final end consumer. That is why if you look at all the sectors of this economy, government has a deliberate effort, takes a deliberate effort, be it NDC, even the NDC as a social democratic party, and the NPP as a capitalist party, take a conscious effort to ensure that we do not create monopolies, telcos, banking, even in electricity. In this country, ECG is not the only company, it's not the only parastatal that sells electricity. We have private companies that are independent power producers that sell power to businesses. It is to create a competitive market environment. I do not see how the competition, which guarantees quality of service and better pricing for the consumer, will be ensured by this monopoly.
Is there a monopoly in the structure?
Roland, I think Honorable Sam George is talking as if the members of the committee didn't take a look at all these things. We look at all that.
Are you on the committee?
Yes, I'm on the committee.
Okay,
we look at all that. We raise all the questions. Take a look at the recommendations that we made. That we did not want anybody to come in and kill the small tool companies. So we recommended that all those that are going to be involved should actually, the contract and agreement with them should be disclosed. I believe in competition. That's how you save, you protect the customer, right? Are you saying that what you're saying, does it mean that we cannot do PPP, where private sector can come in and help? Yes, in the US, there are private towing companies, right? It happens. In some places, maybe you don't know. In our case, no, I'm not saying, there are private companies that can do towing.
The same thing as in Ghana. The US that you are citing that you say, I don't know.
No.
The US doesn't do what we're trying to do here in Ghana.
What I'm saying is that, what we're saying that we are not trying to make somebody a monopoly over who tows the car. But in terms of using insurance companies and using other people who can do this job, we realize that the best way, based on all the deliberations we had, the best way to do it is to give somebody the opportunity who has the capacity to make this happen. So we look at all the issues, we make recommendations, but at the end of the day, remember, there's already a contract in place. The contract is already going on, right? That if you don't take care and you just cancel this contract, you're going to have a situation where you have what we call judgment debt. So we look at all the issues. So it's not like we didn't look at the issues. We look at the issues, we invited people, we felt that this is the sustainable way of beginning that project. There's opportunity for review from time to time. So don't make this seem like the committee did not take a look at the issues properly. Take a look at the recommendation. I'm sure you're going to appreciate.
But we'll still have to remain in Parliament, in which...
but you've made him have
No, but you had longer time.
It was clarifying the issue. It was clarifying the issue. But the NDC in Parliament... Relax.
30 seconds. Roland.
30 seconds.
See, I think that, and I hold this view respectfully,
sure,
that the roads committee may not, the transport committee may not have done, you may have done a disservice to Ghanaians. Because I insist and maintain that you've created a monopoly. If you want to empower small businesses as you claim, what stops us from regularizing and finding out all of these are small companies and dealing directly with them? You effectively created a monopoly by saying that all of them must work through one agency. Okay? What happens to the question I'm asking? That I have a current towing arrangement and you are imposing a second liability on me. That is the point I'm making. You have not answered that question.
Okay, I know that, for example, the national health insurance.
Yes.
I have the national health insurance card.
You never probably used it.
Well, I can't say that because it will be offensive to the ordinary person who uses the national health insurance across the country. But I feel that I want to use a mutual health insurance scheme because the services are a lot broader. But because of what I pay for national health insurance, I'm limited as to some of the things that I can use. So that's the reason why.
Yes.
Now, if you want better services, perhaps you can afford a Prado. Somebody can afford a Prado, but would have to lose their life negligently.
Okay.
Then that should be a concern for the general good. Okay. Is that an idea that you thought about?
What you need to understand is that this is like insurance company is talking about. It's a pool of risk.
Right.
That
to remove the risk.
To remove the risk.
Okay.
Okay, your car gets disabled for whatever reason. You leave it in the park waiting for
maybe
insurance.
Maybe some Dodge is thinking maybe his car is a latest or...
That's not the point.
Roland. We even went to the point of saying... No, we even went to the point of asking questions. Why should this be done in this way?
Okay.
Because if I have a good car and I take good care of my car, I may not sustain these issues of having to get my car towed over and over again off the road. So in that case, why should I pay? But at the end of the day, if somebody's car gets disabled and it's not moved, you who has a good car, they'll be killed.
Well, just like we found in some instances, a former MP and all that.
Exactly.
Honorable, let me ask you a simple question.
So
you made your point. Let me just ask you a simple question. So what is the difficulty of yourself and like-minded MPs on the committee who may have voted for this needless toll tax?
It's not voting, it's recommendation.
Or recommendation on this needless toll tax, that we should make it mandatory. What is your difficulty with the suggestion I am making that it should be a pay-as-you-go service? And so the police, which is mandated by law to do what you are talking about, make sure that there are no broken down vehicles on the road, is made to ensure that when any vehicle breaks down, based on their visibility on the road, you can't tell me that the private company will have more visibility than the police service. Based on their visibility on the road, the police should tow that vehicle, and the owner of that vehicle should be surcharged. Okay. Why should I? Okay. Why should I have to pay? You use the national health insurance as an example.
Why do you have to pay insurance at all? Tell me, why do you have to pay insurance?
I pay insurance.
Why?
I pay insurance in anticipation of any damage to my vehicle.
Okay, so this is
no. What we are saying is it should be a pay-as-you-use service. Then the next thing you are going to tell me is that because we are having inferior spare parts that are equally causing accidents on our road, and take the statistics. I challenge anybody. The statistics show that the death on our road from reckless driving is more. From reckless driving and poor vehicles on our road is more than stationary vehicles. If we want to fight carnage on our roads, the next thing we are going to hear is that a government is going to wake up and tell us that because the spare parts that are being sold, a lot are inferior, one company is going to have a monopoly over importing of spare parts, and all the people in Swame Magazine and Abosiokai should go and buy from that company because we are doing quality assurance. You are beginning to create a monopoly in this country which will not inure to our benefit. It will not inure to our own constituents who serve us. I'm asking you, in Bantama, does the police not have better visibility? Would the police not better serve your own constituents like they would in Ningo Pram Pram than an individual company?
Honorable, the question
is the police part of this initiative?
They are. They are part of it.
What role does the police play?
What do they play?
What role does the police play?
Accident, what do they do? When there's an accident, what do they do? So what you don't understand is that you have to understand that LI was passed. Okay, LI was passed. An agreement has been reached. A contract has been signed. This is something that was done under your watch.
Listen, what we did, the hypocrisy of this argument,
what we did, because
is that you are telling me that there will be a judgment that if you say that we should review the terms and conditions of a contract that has been
which
signed.
We have done.
I'm coming. That has not even been put into effect. They've run a pilot project. They have not started full-scale operation.
Okay.
You say that if we sit down and say that, look, let's review it with them and say to them that let's bring this under the ambit of insurance companies that already have setting arrangements with some of their premium holders. And so let's reorient the whole process. You say that will lead to a judgment debt. But you, the same minority, we are going to come to the majority. We are going to come to it. You say that a contract that is already in effect, that has been in effect for almost 2 years. That one, we should rescind our decision. I mean, what kind of thinking is that on the American?
No.
What kind of thinking is that?
I'm sure we're coming there. What you need to understand that the
Don't give me that
recommendations...
judgment debt argument. That judgment debt argument
it
is
was
the
part-
lamest.
no, no.
It is the lamest argument anybody can put in defense of this.
It's a part of the
So what? We are
Constitution.
sitting down as a parliament and as a country, and an individual company is going to blackmail
now
us.
look at what he's saying. You go one side and say we cannot revise and review the American. Now you are saying we should do what?
I'm using your own standard.
No, your standards is what you're talking
The
about.
American deal is a deal that is already in progress. This has not started.
And so it
has not been actualized.
Signed.
My brother,
Listen to me.
my brother.
Listen to me.
What we are saying with America. Listen.
Look
what we are saying. No.
Okay, gentlemen.
We are coming to America. We are coming to America. In America, what we are saying is clear. We are not saying that don't abrogate. We are not saying don't abrogate. Review the terms.
Is that why the NDC minority in Parliament is threatening more revolt against the Speaker, accusing him of bias?
Well, you see, I have a lot of respect.
What happened?
I have a lot of respect.
What happened yesterday in Parliament?
Because Mr. Speaker is a seasoned member of Parliament, seasoned lecturer, academic,
a
lawyer, and a pastor. And so, for me, going into Parliament to serve under Mr. Speaker, I had very high hopes for the neutrality of the House. And in fact, listening to Mr. Speaker, when we confirmed his nomination before in Parliament on the first day of the day we were sworn in, the 7th of January, listening to his speech he gave, I had very high hopes for great debate. In fact, Mr. Speaker, in his statement, said he would stand for great debate in the House. He would encourage vigorous and rigorous debate. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker hasn't lived up to some of the things he said in his inaugural statement on the floor of the House. I mean, there's a reason why we have leadership. I mean, me, Sam George, first-time MP. If you choose to ignore me when I stand, I can only rave and rant. But not the minority leader. There's a reason why he's our leader. And there's standards and procedure. He knows we have an order, standing orders that guide and regulate our proceedings. And so if you sit down and you tell me the minority leader rises and says that, look, you cannot have a motion that has been moved, someone from the same majority seconds it, that's fine. And then the next thing you see is that it's being referred to a committee without debate. Show me any precedence for that in the House. Where motions are moved, debates are not welcome, and then all you see is being referred to a committee to go and work. I mean, then we sit back and then all that you see is that the committee will go and work, bring its report, and then they will ask 2 or 3 people to stand up and speak. Ranking member, deputy ranking, chairman and vice chairman. My point is simple. Is simply that
the speaker
is beginning to look and appear high-handed in his treatment of the minority. He doesn't appear to be a fair judge, a fair umpire of proceedings in the House. There have been times when we've had to ask the speaker if he's engaging in debate. Our standing orders prohibit the speaker from engaging in debate. But there have been times when even ministers have come into the House, and you ask the minister a question, and the speaker is the one who will respond. He will respond and then overrule your questions. We saw it in the case of the Foreign Affairs Minister when she was invited to the House to answer a question by Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa on the Gitimo 2. On several instances, the videos are there. Several instances, questions were asked. John Jinapo asked a question. The speaker responded. The speaker answered. And after answering, said that there was nothing for the minister to say. You understand me? The treatment and at times what borders on gross disrespect for the leadership of the minority is something that we will not countenance. It's something that we will not continue to hold on. Again, yesterday, and you see, that is where I'm afraid for our parliamentary democracy. Our parliamentary democracy is under siege and under threat. Because you see, yesterday, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, who happens to be the minority leader, stood on a point of order, drew the speaker's attention to a recently decided case in 2016 of Ndebugri versus Attorney General, where the Supreme Court of the land, the apex court, and you see, Mr. Speaker is a lawyer, a senior lawyer. He knows the veracity and the importance of a Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruled that once Parliament has taken a decision on a matter, it moves away from Parliament's purview and moves solely into the bosom of the judiciary. The principle of separation of powers. We appear to be seeing a blurring of the principle of separation of powers in this country, where the executive has no regard for the speaker and does not take recourse to the speaker and abuses Article 117.
When did the NDC minority
affects
realize
the independence of the parliamentary of the legislature? Now the legislature is also stepping into the realms of the judiciary. What is going on in this country? Are we becoming a banana republic? Where the Supreme Court has said that so long as Parliament has taken a decision, anybody who has a problem with the decision of Parliament must revert to the judiciary for judicial decision to be taken on that matter. How can the 7th Parliament purport to sit down and take a decision on the 6th Parliament? We don't have that power. We don't have that mandate.
Your response is it that the NDC minority is just being the minority in opposition and trying to be vociferous, or they have real concerns?
I think so. That's what they are doing. If you ask me, I've been in the House for 7 months as well, just like him. If you ask me, in my candid opinion, the Speaker actually has given a lot of say on many, many issues. Sometimes the opposition are called more than even...
So they are picking and choosing?
They are picking and choosing. What has he done wrong? There's a motion. Mind you, he was referring to other 93, where you could say that you have to give the opportunity to talk, debate the issues. But who interprets the standing orders? It's the Speaker. He guides the decision, everything that happens in the House. If you have controversy over interpretation of any rule or regulation in our standing orders, it is the Speaker who is going to guide and interpret. He has the power to determine what happens. So in my view, they have had many, many opportunities than us on debating several issues. In this particular case, you are talking about a motion on this American case. And the Speaker, in his own wisdom, is saying that I believe that this motion that we have brought will be better handled at the committee level, where people who don't have opportunity to be represented in Parliament, like the service providers, various stakeholders, who could appear before the committee to submit and contribute and make discussion go on. So let's take it there first. What is wrong with that? What do you have to be afraid of? So that is the issue. Roland, if you have an issue with me right now, and I'm a member of Parliament, I can go to the House, debate the issue. You will not have opportunity to come to Parliament, so to say, and do it. But if you refer the issue to the committee, everybody can be invited to come, and the issue is discussed, a report is raised, is brought back to the House, and it's debated. You're talking about a minority leader referring to a case. What were the issues in the case? You only pick a portion of that judgment and read it. How applicable is that? Did the person that went to court came to Parliament before the issue was referred to court? And by the way, when meetings are held at the committee level, whatever comes out, if the committee is going to refer to the House that we should send it to court or should go to the judiciary, that could be also a suggestion that they can bring. So there's no issue. This American case, our friends in NDC, in the opposition, have been rising against it right from when the issue came up.
Well, they say they have nothing to hide.
Okay, well, they should stay in the House and let's debate. You don't go. You shouldn't go and
stay in the House and debate.
No, and, when you say the Speaker, debate,
how do you say you should stay in the House?
No, you are working out just to make the Speaker look bad. But this Speaker has been very, very fair to everybody.
Come on.
So don't say that. You don't have any basis. The Speaker actually is the one who is the custodian of our what they call standing orders. He interprets it when there's confusion, and in his wisdom, he's decided that let's just refer the issue so that interested parties can be invited for discussion so that the report will come from the committee. And then when the report is in the House, we will all debate. So why are you picking on the Speaker? There was a time that the minority leader was complaining that the Speaker didn't allow him to ask as many questions as he wanted to ask.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? Listen, he explained himself. The issue is that he had referred the case, I mean, when the questions were going on, he gave the table, the leadership of the minority, somebody should speak. And Honorable Muntaka stood up and asked about 2 or 3 questions. After he is done, then Honorable Aruna came up again that he wants to ask questions. I said, oh, I have already given you opportunity. When I say leadership, I meant you. And Honorable Muntaka, the chief whip, has taken 2 questions, and I was thinking that it was the leadership that you decided to give it to him. So if you want to ask several questions, please ask 2 questions. What is wrong with that?
Ask 1 question.
Yeah, even if you say ask 1 question, because the issue has been referred to the leadership, and then you chose to give it to your chief whip to ask first 2 questions. and then you want another opportunity again. But sometimes, you know, the rules are set. 2 people from here, 1 from here. Sometimes they refer to the leadership, 1 comment or 2, and all that. So he was explaining himself, saying that I have given you the opportunity, you've given it to your chief whip, he's asked 2 questions. So if you have anything...
So for you, it's fair and square?
It was
but
fair.
At the end of the day, I read something on social media, and somebody said the minority in parliament was just getting worked up just because it's the Ameri deal, and perhaps they have some concerns that if there's a relook, there could be some issues that could be raised.
Let me break this down, and let's state this for the records here and now. The minority is not against any review of Ameri. In fact, we've had an executive. We've had an executive look at Ameri. We've had a ministerial committee set up under the executive to look at Ameri. Up to now, we can't even find the head and tail of that report. All we realized from that report was that people went on a long vacation in the Middle East. All expenses paid, flying first class and business class. That's belittling
the work of the committee.
You understand me? But that's the reality on the ground. Now it has come to Parliament. 2 issues fundamentally that we're raising. 1, the 7th Parliament does not have the requisite powers to rescind a decision of the 6th Parliament, just by virtue of a motion. There are procedures and processes. Secondly, we're saying that if you want to have a motion must be debated on the floor of the House. We're not running away from debate. We're saying let us debate it on the floor of the House. When we are done with our debate, you can then see the merit or demerit before you take a decision of referring it. Because look, from the debate, it can become evident to everybody in the House that there is no merit in rescinding a decision, and that what should rather happen is a directive to the appropriate committee to liaise with the ministry has oversight with, the Mines and Energy Committee, to liaise with the Ministry of Energy to see what they can do to revise the terms and conditions of the deal. Who has a problem with that? Go and look at it and have a revision. We don't have a problem with that. But to wake up and say you are going to rescind a decision and abrogate a contract, you think that will not occasion a judgment debt? And that is the double standard we are speaking about. You think that we should not even have a revision of the terms of a contract that has not commenced, road safety management contract. That one we shouldn't even touch it because there's judgment debt. But Ameri, which has been running and been providing power to this country for getting to 2 years now, that one you think we should just wake up, rescind the decision, abrogate it, and there will be no judgment debt to the country?
And that is why you raise concern. You have a walkout, and
this is the irresponsibility of government.
Government is irresponsible.
Absolutely. The decision by
government is irresponsible.
Absolutely. In its handling of this Ameri deal, government will occasion, if we continue like this, and government continues to whip its parliamentary majority into line, and they do not think and act in the interest of the people of this country, mark my word, you bring me my stone, we will be occasioned with a bigger judgment debt than even the entire cost of the road safety management contract.
That's it.
Roland, who told my friend, Honorable George, that we are going to ask for revision or for a change or amendment to the deal? Who told him?
Did he listen to the motion that his own senior member
No, listen to it. Who told you? Why are you afraid?
Who told you? Afraid of Massa?
No.
It is English that we conducted the business of the house.
No, stop. You can speak more English than me, so just don't go there. So what I'm saying is that, listen. What I'm saying, who told you? Because this issue you are talking about,
hold on. Because you are beginning to scare me.
You have concerns. So what? Let's make sure this issue goes to the committee where everybody who is involved can be given audience so that this issue can be discussed. Why are you worried? Roland, I don't understand. Honestly speaking, they just walked out because probably they think if something happens, they are going to be affected. Some of those people who think it's a problem. But let me say this, Roland. If the executive is taking a look at it, are you saying that people's reps, MPs, cannot take a look at this all-important contract? We don't have the right to look at it and make recommendation? What are you saying?
Are you done?
Hold on.
Okay.
When the Vodafone deal came up, Honorable Haruna was then communication minister, right? And they raised issues. He sat somewhere and have discussions and started making amendments and changes. When they were asked, he said, we are renegotiating. The point I'm making is that if the executive has the power to do that, we who are the people's rep cannot call to review or even take a look at.
So you're saying that right is...
It's there. You can tell us. We can look at it.
Okay.
You can say that.
Thank you.
So I don't see what their worry is. I don't see what their concern is. They should stay in the house for us to take a look and go through. They should allow the committee to invite all people.
And if they walk out?
If they walk out, well, they know. We respect the fact that they will always have their say. We do respect that. But at the end of the day, we have to make a decision that's going to benefit the people of Ghana. We have to protect the national purse. We cannot allow things that are not good to go on. So we will debate if they choose to go. Remember, in the 1992, when the MPP party had referred to as, what do you call it, the stolen verdict.
You mean in the elections?
We didn't go. We didn't go. It was choice.
There was a free parliament in the first 4 years.
Okay, things worked.
Roland. Okay.
So they can choose. If they want to, they can choose to stay off the fence. We don't want it like that. We want them to be strong. Hold on, please. When you're talking, I didn't speak. No, hold on, please.
Will I not
they can choose to stay out. We don't want it like that. We want all of us to be in the house and go through the issues, the business of the people, by getting people. And make sure that we're able to do something which is going to benefit people. Don't choose and pick and begin to accuse the speaker for doing nothing.
Okay.
Roland, Honorable says he speaks better English or more English than me.
No, because you're challenging
That's fine.
You said something. You said English.
No. You said that the business was conducted in
English. So what are you talking about?
But that also was not
good. That's not good. That's not honorable enough.
So both of you didn't speak good language.
No. Roland, I'm not perturbed by what he said. I'm not. I just want to...
No, but you said it. You raised the issue.
Relax. I relax for you.
I don't even know what grade you have in English. So
relax.
Don't go there.
I just want our viewers and Honorable to realize that maybe his understanding of the English language is flawed. Because yesterday in the House, if you were paying attention, except you weren't paying attention in the House, if you were paying attention, the motion was to rescind the agreement. You tell me that you are not here to cancel or to so me, I don't understand English.
No.
I'm from Ningo Pram, we speak that way. So I have gone online. Oh, Honorable, please. When you were speaking, I gave you a chance.
I will not let you turn on that.
I have gone online to check the meaning. I've gone to the dictionary.
No.
Which is written by, which is the Queen's language. In Bantama, they speak Tree. In Ningo Pram, we speak that way. So let's go and ask the English dictionary what rescind means.
That is not the issue.
To rescind means, Honorable, please.
Let me explain the point to you. Maybe you didn't understand. No, because you've gone on and on. You're going on the wrong direction. He doesn't understand.
To rescind is a verb. It's a third person present. It says to revoke, to cancel, or repeal a law, order, or agreement. That is what the dictionary is saying. So you who understands English and speaks better English, you do not understand that when a motion is moved on the floor of the House to rescind an agreement, it means to cancel, to revoke an agreement. If you pass that motion, what have you effectively done? Have you not terminated the contract? And you sit here and tell me that when I say that that motion is going to occasion financial loss, that I'm not giving the right.
Let me help you to understand.
No, I don't need your help.
No, I'm going to help you to understand.
I don't need your help. You don't even understand the motion, the English that was used in the motion. How can you come and explain to me? When you don't even understand the meaning of the word rescind, you are telling me that the meaning of the word rescind means to go and negotiate.
You can choose to say anything you want, but let me explain to you what I was trying to say.
The word, look, it was a rescission. If you take the order paper, the motion is written there. It pains me I didn't bring the other paper here. I didn't know we'll have to have a lecture in English today. I would have brought the other paper for us to look at the context in which the word rescind was used. Rescind was used. It was the operative word in the motion. The motion is to get Parliament to do something. So you need a verb in that motion. The verb in that motion was rescind. And the verb rescind means to repeal, to cancel, or to revoke a loan agreement or order. We are talking about rescinding an agreement, the Ameri agreement. So if we are saying you are asking us to rescind the Ameri agreement, and I'm telling you that is a very irresponsible road to take, because your irresponsibility will occasion financial loss that Roland, who is not a member of Parliament, who is a constituent, who has sent an MP to Parliament, will be burdened with a judgment debt he has to pay through his taxes. And I'm telling you that we must behave in a more matured and responsible way as custodians of the people's purse. You are telling me that the motion is not going to cancel a law. The motion is going to give us opportunity to debate. The motion is to rescind. The motion is not for us to renegotiate. I'm saying that, and the minority's position is you cannot have a rescission. The implications for the state are dire. If you think that there are issues that are wrong, if you think that there are problems with the existing agreement, what you do is to sit down and redefine the terms and renegotiate. You don't abrogate, you don't cancel.
Roland, let me help you.
Don't help me. Help yourself. You need to understand
the point I was trying to say. You don't have to teach me English here. I don't need an MP from
that's okay.
Ndingo Prampam to teach me English.
That's okay. That's okay.
No, it's okay. I mean, you just wanted to make points. There's too much talking, or whatever you say will not change what needs to happen. The point I was making is that just because it's referred to the committee does not mean the recommendation that's going to come from there is going to lead to automatic rescission of the contract.
But he's also referring you to the content of the motion.
Sure. But then
the motion that the speaker has sent to the committee.
It's not automatic that when you send it to a committee, you refer to a committee, whether it was debated or not. It doesn't mean the recommendation from the committee is going to say, let's move the way it is.
That's what you want.
That's what I was trying to say. So he didn't get the point. And he's trying to just run around and beat up around the bush. Excuse my language, Honorable. But the point I was making is that it's not automatic. For instance, there was a request from for us to take a look at what do you call it? The Zongo development bill. It came to the House, okay, and we had to meet, and it came under the certificate of agency that they wanted us to look at it. It was referred to a committee. The committee went and sat down and said, "This is not an issue of urgent manner. It's a new bill. Let's take a look and make sure we pass it in a way that is going to be sustainable and beneficial to Ghanaians." So that's what I'm saying. That it's not automatic.
So you're saying that the motion could be there.
Yes.
It could be sent to the committee. But
Sure.
The outcome
may not lead to rescission. So that's what that's what I was trying to say. And he just took it out of context and going around and it's okay. That's fine. But you need to understand. I don't understand why our friends are so afraid. At the point where the decision was made.
They're afraid of what?
They're afraid of the Ameri issue. Right? At the time that they made a decision at the committee level, some information were probably not available. So people supported, seconded this deal without even having the full information.
The second look.
A second look.
Okay.
Now they are getting new information with evidence and they're bringing it to the House for us to take a look at it and see if we need to make.
And for you, that's just a normal work of Parliament.
That's it.
So there should be no qualms.
There should be no qualm. There should be no problem. Our friends, if they think they did a good job.
You think they are too agitated?
They are too agitated. You know, and that creates a lot of suspicion. What is going on?
I was pretty quiet when he spoke, so I hope my honourable member extends me the same courtesies.
I will.
Fantastic. Thank you in advance. Roland, when the minority leader stood, if they had listened to him, the point he was making very clearly is that, look, you need to amend that motion. You don't come seeking a rescission and tell me that, oh, let's send it to the committee and let's hope that the committee will not bring us an approval for rescission. It's like you telling me that, oh, there's a chainsaw, this chain mill, that cuts, the mechanized one. I should put my hand in there and pray that ECG will take the light so it doesn't cut my hand. I mean, that's the logic. Put your hand in the hands of a mechanized blade and pray that ECG will take the light so that the blade will not cut you.
It's not the same in this.
It's the same thing.
It's not.
It's the same thing.
It's not.
I'll give you a tip. The example he used, why that example does not hold in this context. Zongo Development Fund, the bill.
Yeah.
When it came under a certificate of agency. We said no. They referred it to the committee. The committee said no. Yesterday, was it not laid again in the House?
No,
I'm coming.
Because it's going through the normal process. The committee made a recommendation that it should go through the normal process.
Honorable, you see, I could have interjected. You promised be an honorable man and be a man of your word. Being a man of your word is being honorable. You gave me your word that you will not interject.
Do you understand?
No, please.
It came to go through. It came back to the House to go through the normal process.
Honorable,
that's the recommendation from the committee.
You see,
come on.
If you do this, your people will say that all the things you told them you won't do because you are changing your plan. Don't do that. Thank you, my friend. Don't do that. You see, Roland, the Zongo Development Bill has not changed in shape, substance, or form. The content is the same, even though it's gone to the committee. All the committee has said is it shouldn't come under a certificate of agency. But the same thing has come back after being gazetted for 14 days.
No, what did the committee say? Say the proper way.
The bottom line
the committee said it should go through the normal process.
Oh, that's why I said it's gone through gazette for 14 days.
Yes.
That's a regular process, honorable.
Yes, that's what we...
But you see, in this case, what is going to happen is that if it goes, you do not have the room for maneuver that you had with certificate of agency or no certificate of agency. Here, it is a decision to rescind or not to rescind. And I'm saying that, why do you want to send something that
so
will
ideally, the motion
that will occasion financial loss to the state?
Ideally, the motion
should have been amended.
Okay.
And if you want us to have a negotiation
Roland,
with Ameri, if you want to have an investigation into Ameri, if you want to even investigate Ameri, your motion should not be to cancel. How do you investigate something you've cancelled? If you say that, and that's why we are saying we don't have nothing to fear. You want to cancel. If you cancel, it is done. If I cancel a contract with you today, if there's an allegation against you, touch wood, may it never happen. And Kwesi Chum says that for that reason, you are fired from the morning show. Would they be now able to call you to come and answer to an investigation? They fired you. But if there's allegations against you, what they will do, the best they can do is to put you on suspension and then or interdict you and then investigate. We are saying if you think there is something wrong with Ameri, investigate, don't abrogate. The rescission
but
is
you don't
to
call the
abrogate.
shots. It's as if you want to call the. Okay,
but
this is an ongoing issue.
You have somebody to hide in America. You are running away from investigating.
In a latest twist to the internal wranglings at the Electoral Commission, the Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, Alhaji, is protesting what he says is a failure of his boss to recognize the press conference. And we're talking about this because there's been a memo that's circulating on social media in which the Deputy Commissioner is writing to his chairperson and saying that I want you to have a cordial relationship with me. I mean, basically, that's what it says. But I thought you could just walk next door and you don't need a memo for that. That's not how people work, do they?
Well, Roland, maybe before I just go on this issue.
Oh, you still want to
I just want to just take
I just don't want him
second.
to have a rebuttal.
No, he's not going to do that. The point I was making is that if the minority leader, if the minority leader and our friends in NDC think they still even have a lot of issues to talk about this Ameri issue, at the committee level they can go.
We're not members of the committee.
Oh, no, you can go.
Are you a member of the committee?
You can write to the chairman to invite you so that you can also have a say. And
I want to debate on the floor.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And your sergeant is if you put your hand.
You say the committees of parliament don't work well. They are not effective. Is that what you're saying?
I haven't said so.
Okay. He was citing an example. If you put your hand on a chainsaw, it's going to cut you. So you know that there's a cut, eh? That it has ability to cut. And for that,
that's okay. Please don't bring too much logic.
Let me go through this issue. Let me go through this issue because you know that when you put your hand there, it's going to be cut. So you won't put it there anyway.
No,
on this issue, let me tell you,
get wounded.
Maybe I don't know how many attempts the deputy has made to try to be nice or whatever it is. Ronald, you can have issues with people, but for the sake of business, for the sake of the job of the people. Sometimes when you are right, you surrender your right. If the deputy commissioner thinks that he needs to have a cordial relationship with the commissioner to get the business of Ghanaians going, the EC going, I think it's a fair request. Maybe he formalizes it just to make sure that at least there's what do you call it, records, evidence of the fact that I want to work with you. We have issues, yes. You accused me, I accused you, and there's an issue in court. It doesn't mean we shouldn't talk. They should cooperate, even though they have issues. They should work for the sake. When it comes to the work of Ghanaians, they should put their differences somewhere and work together. So I think it's a good call. He's just providing an opportunity for us to get the business done. I think they should look at it together, even though, like you said, if I was him, I would go straight and say, oh, you've been ignoring me these days. You're not giving me any recognition. Or maybe he's done that. We don't know. But if it is going on, and you feel like you're being ignored, why don't you formalize it? So I don't have any issues with a memo being sent.
To the point that it's even on social media.
Well, I don't know who released that. That's what I don't. It's not. It's a non-issue.
And it's a signed copy.
Well, it's a non-issue. The point is that I want to work with you, irrespective of our differences and accusation. And I think that that's how things must work. Everywhere you go in corporation, businesses, there are people with differences. But for the sake of the job that has brought all of you together in that place, you must make sure you work together and move.
Roland, I hold the view that I don't need to be friends with you to work with you.
Sure, obviously.
I mean, I don't think you are. You may be free with everybody, but I don't think you're friends with everybody in the multimedia establishment. We don't need to belabor these issues. I think that, look, and all the people at the center of this are people I have a lot of respect for, and I know personally, people who I have relationships with. Alhaji Sule Amadu is like a big brother. Auntie Charlotte is also like a big sister. I think that, look, they must show us the professionalism that they have. I mean, this is, look, and I can vouch for the professional competence of any of these commissioners from how the relationships I've had with them. I think that they're fantastic people who are qualified to hold the positions that they hold.
What's the problem?
I think that whatever personal issues may have amounted are issues that they should resolve on their own. And I think that, again, I'm going to call out the Peace Council here. You see, the Peace Council, when this matter broke, their only statements we've heard them is, oh, they should all resign. I mean, how? If we have Ebusuampenyi in the country.
Well, the Peace Council didn't take that decision, or didn't make that recommendation. It was an
Christian
activity
Council,
of some dialogue.
Yes.
Not only a Christian council, there was, they called it the Civic Forum Initiative. Okay? And it was put together by IDEC, the Institute of Democratic Governance. So it was...
Emmanuel Akwete.
Yes, of course. It was
and you see, for me, that platform in itself is questionable. I mean, you remember that in the lead up to the appointment of the EC, Mr. Emmanuel Akwete was in the running. And so, I mean, again, there's so many shades to this whole issue. But the point I'm making here is the headline said that we saw in the news was that Peace Council asks for them to step aside. I would have expected that the Peace Council would rather be calling these three individuals and saying, look, the interest of the nation...
Try to resolve the impasse.
Absolutely. Not asking them to resign. I mean, that's one, a class 3 child can be able to do it. But that is why we've put eminent people as Ebusuampenyi. Asemba Ebusuanemwa, Yempamo, they won't sack the family members who have issues. The elders of the household will call and sit them down and say, look, we're family. Look, I think that Charlotte and Sule and Georgina Mankwa, they need eminent people to sit them down and just tell them, look, you guys don't need to be best. You don't need to be having lunch together. You don't need to be going on weekend vacations together. You need to be able to establish professional protocols and work in the interest of the country. A working relationship. Not a personal relationship.
You are not brothers and sisters.
No, you don't have to be.
You don't have to be. You see, and that is why I'm saying that, look.
So that's the problem we have there.
We must be careful the way we tread with this matter because, look, today, and I keep saying that now I find myself in the legislature. Honorable is also in the legislature. The day our democracy fails, the first institution to suffer is Parliament. And so the EC is fundamental and key to our survival and
so
this
it should not be touched if there are problems.
Toy with it. No, that's what I'm saying, that the seniors...
It should not be touched if there are problems. Is that what you're saying?
No. Roland, what kind of conclusions are you drawing today? Have you had breakfast?
Yeah, no, I've not yet.
That's why. Because I'm saying that they should bring you some hot chocolate. I am saying
I'll take some after.
The Peace Council should come in and resolve the impasse. I'm not saying it shouldn't be touched. I'm saying whatever personal issues are there, we should have a group like the Peace Council, eminent Ghanaians, sit down with them and tell them, look, you are toying, your personal feud is beginning to toy with our collective national safety and good. And again, let me just say one last thing. One last thing in 10 seconds. Look, when you have the head of a public institution coming under constant attack from staff of that institution in the public service, and I have worked in the public service as a civil servant. I've been a civil servant before. Most times, it is because that head is trying to change the status quo. And most times, that status
Where did you work?
Is a corrupt thing. I worked in the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations.
Your head was trying to change things.
I worked in the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing. And I know how the civil service works. And I'm saying that our civil service, forgive me, whether people like it or people are comfortable with what I'm about to say, our civil service is endemically corrupt. And when you try to fight it and change it, at times you face opposition.
Okay, I have to wrap up on this, but you wanted to have a...
Yes, quickly. I'm very happy the way he's approaching the issue now, especially coming from our friends in the NDC, that we should be careful how we deal with this issue. So now they realize they made a mistake.
Oh, what do you mean? This has always been my position.
When they rushed to the media...
That's what?
When the issues were coming, the accusation were coming and saying...
Oh, you mean the initial...
The initial.
Yes, the presidency leaking. Our presidency cannot be a basket.
Please.
A memo, a petition sent to the president and then it's leaked.
Honorable, I respected you.
I thought you said you should have...
So I was on this platform and I said that there will be a day that our friends in NDC will see that they rushed.
Because then they accuse that...
Pointing fingers.
Yeah, right.
And also...
The presidency has been speaking on the matter.
And then
in a very...
to say that we should call the Council of State and...
The president has only referred a petition.
The presidency.
No.
The presidential staffer has spoken on this matter.
Let me make my point.
The leak came from the office of the president.
Well, the presidential staffer's comment is not the position of the president.
Okay, thank you.
Really, thank you.
You have worked at the presidency before.
So when you make a statement that is out of touch with your leaders, the president, you are sanctioned. Has he been sanctioned?
You never know.
Listen,
You should tell us. We're asking.
Roland, what he needs to also understand is it's okay if we can call our elders to get involved and resolve the issue so that work can go on. But Roland, what you need to understand that this information that is out there may have legal consequences. Some of these may be criminal issues that need. At that point, it goes beyond the reach of our leaders, and that we have to let the law take its course.
And that's what's happening. Thank you very much, Daniel Ochem Abuaje. He's a member of parliament for Bantama, and Samuel George. And Sam George is a member of parliament for Ningo.
Forget my middle name. I always have to remind you. My name is Samuel Nate George.
Samuel Nate Jata. He's a member of parliament for Ningo.